I will go ahead and welcome in our guests. So joining us now is 2024 quarterback commit CJ Carr, who is fresh off of a visit to Notre Dame yesterday, and we'll get to that in a second, but he is a rising junior who committed to Notre Dame in June. CJ, what is up? Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Doing good, CJ.
Awesome. Yeah.
Awesome.
What's up? Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying something. All right. So we have a couple of questions for CJ prepared. And then if we have time at the end, drop something in the chat if you want to ask CJ, and we'll maybe get to one or two of those. But I'll start on our side. So Mike, I know you have the first question if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, throw my guy up like a little softball here. So CJ, it's been what? Almost 2 months since you've been committed. And I think you've been to Notre Dame more in the past 2 months than Marcus Freeman has. I mean, how's the committed life been? You know, like how are you liking being on that Notre Dame commit list?
It's really nice. It really is. It's a blessing to be able to, know where you want to go so early. But it's really nice that, I do love talking to you guys, but it gets a lot sometimes. So it's nice that, the reporters have kind of died down a little bit. Not as many coaches that I have to talk to, but it's overall, it's been great.
Yeah. And then, so kind of on the topic of you being at Notre Dame a lot, you were just there yesterday for a barbecue with close to like 30 recruits. Most of them were in your class. A couple of your committed classmates were there too, but there were a couple from different classes. Kind of, can you just walk us through what you did yesterday at Notre Dame? I know there were a lot of fun games and head shavings that occurred. So drop in those notes if you don't mind.
Yeah. So we started off the day. We kind of started with a little, competition. We had to like chug a water bottle and then hit 5 Papa shots. And so, right when we got there, it was great because Cam Williams and Jack Larson were there. So two of the offensive commits on that are already committed. And so it's been great getting to know those guys. It's already like we're best friends messing with Cam. I know Cam walked in the door with I forgot what he had. It was like bubbly water or something. So we gave him a hard time about that. We were like, what are you drinking, man? Just fun little things.
Cam's
like
a big
that.
Seltzer guy. Noted.
He is. That's why I don't understand it. It's okay. not my style.
I'll have to ask him about that.
Yeah. So
sorry, go ahead. No, all you.
All right. And then we kind of got into some mini games. We actually threw before with Jaden Greathouse and Jack Larson. We got to throw a little bit, throw the ball around. And then after that, we kind of went into some mini games. I was with Cam and Ryan for most of the day, Ryan Wingo. And so then we went to dinner, and that was just overall a great experience.
Very cool. So you brought up Cam. Actually, you brought up Jaden Greathouse. Can you talk about this head shaving thing that happened?
Right. So I know Chad, before Jaden committed, Chad told him that if he committed that he would let Jaden shave his head. And so Jaden committed, and I think this was the first time he was back on campus since he committed. And so Chad was like, all right, well, you can shave my head now. And we thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. But
interesting.
Coach Freeman's clippers were not very sharp. We had no guards. No, we had nothing. So we ended up using scissors to cut it down a little bit.
Oh my God.
It was just not. It was I was going to actually get a buzz cut with Jack, but there was not enough material there to do that.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. Just cutting Chad's hair with scissors.
It was awesome.
Sure, yeah. So you brought up Jack, Cam. You said you spent a lot of yesterday with Ryan Wingo. Which 2023 or 24 recruits have you kind of gotten the closest with? I know the ones that are committed obviously are up there, but who are maybe some uncommitted guys that you've become closest with, because you have been kind of all over Twitter recruiting various people. How's that worked out? And who are you closest with?
Yeah, I think obviously I'm really close with all of the commits. Brandon Davis Swain, Owen Waffle are two guys that I haven't mentioned, but two guys that I'm also really close with. I think that a kid that I've gotten a lot closer with in the last few months is Ryan Wingo. I know I've seen him twice now, and each time it's just, this last trip was really awesome just to be able to compete with him and see how he moves, not in a football scenario. And so it was awesome to get around him again, and hopefully he can, be a part of the Irish too.
Absolutely. Tim, what do you got?
Yeah, CJ, obviously everyone knows who your grandfather is, and he's been found it. He's been a part of a lot of Notre Dame games. 1980, if people don't know, Coach Carr was part of the famous Harry Oliver 51-yard field goal that upset Michigan on the last play of the game there in South Bend. But I was curious, not talking to him as a grandfather, but someone that's been a part of Notre Dame football games from 1980 to 2007 until he retired. What did Coach Carr talk to you about when it came to Notre Dame?
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of games he remembers from when he coached. He can remember like certain plays that nobody would think he could remember or that I even knew happened. So it's been really cool to get his input on the Notre Dame Michigan rivalry, and I know he's happy where I ended up, and he's just wanted me to find the best school for me, and so that was a big thing that happened in our family, and it's been great though to. Also, he has a lot of insight on Notre Dame too. So getting to learn more about the culture and about the history of it is also, really awesome resource to have.
No, that's true. There's been legendary quarterback recruiting battles between the two. So, obviously when it came down to you in Michigan, it just brought back tons of memories with a lot of great quarterbacks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sam, you got another question?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I mean, the first one when Mike told us that you were going to be coming on, the first thing I thought about is, okay, CJ Carr, you gotta let us know, break the thing here. Who is the best? Who are you when it comes down to leadership style? So we all know the two best quarterbacks in the history of football is Joe Montana, Notre Dame, Tom Brady, Michigan. So are you more Joe Cool, Joe Montana, or are you more do your job, get in people's faces, Tom Brady? What's your leadership style?
I'm not sure. I've never actually been asked this question. I think obviously growing up a Michigan fan, Tom Brady's always been my guy. He still is, my favorite quarterback ever. I try and model my game a lot after him. But I think I'm a really competitive guy. I think even competing with Coach Reese this last weekend was really something I enjoyed. Even obviously we're gonna be on each other's teams, and that's what that's a guy I wanted on my team. But when we're playing cornhole, talking crap, and I'm a really competitive guy. And I think I'm a vocal leader too. So right now I'm just trying to. We're bringing some younger kids along on my high school team right now. So this is, we're going to need, me as a leader, but also a bunch of our senior leaders to step up and help some of these younger guys out this year. It's just a situation we're going through right now.
CJ, you're what, 17? You're 17?
17, yep.
You speak like a 17-year veteran in the NFL, like asking a question and you kind of answer it right in the middle. Like that's perfect quarterback. Like you are already so good at it. Like that's what Brady does. He'll talk for 2 minutes and it's like, Tom, did you even say anything? And like, no, not really. So good. Yeah. Good stuff, CJ. So kind of piggyback off Tim's question, asking about your leadership style. I'm curious about your recruiting style because every class always kind of has this like face of the class, right? 2021 for Notre Dame, Blake Fisher was very much in your face. If you didn't pick Notre Dame and he was recruiting you, he did not like it, and he would let you know about it. Drake Bowen for this 23 cycle, probably a little bit more laid back, throughout some tweets here and there. Certainly will recruit, but, not very aggressive. I'm looking forward to hearing your answer if you're somewhere right in the middle. But, what do you kind of think? Where's your recruiting style kind of land?
Yeah, I think that, when kids commit to wherever they are, you have to support that decision. And you could also ultimately end up playing with them, with the transfer portal now, there's a lot of different, variables that can go into that. And so I think that you could never, diss on a kid for going to a different school than your school that you picked. But I really enjoy, again, getting to know all these different recruits, and building a relationship with all of them is something I really enjoy. And so, I'll throw out I really like the memes on Twitter is something I really enjoy posting out there. They make me laugh. So, that's, I kind of like doing that on Twitter a little bit, but, really connecting with them in person is something I really enjoy.
Cool. We do have a question that I think is a good one.
Yeah.
Milton Fan says, CJ, what potential recruit are you hoping to commit to Notre Dame? You mentioned Ryan Wingo, obviously, 5-star type talent from the St. Louis area. You visited with him at the end of last month. yesterday. And then also Irish Invasion in 2021. You guys were both on campus. I don't think you guys knew each other at that point, but you were there at the same time. So put him aside. That's probably like your number one guy. Do you have any other big names that you're going after for 24? And I know you're involved with 2023 as well.
Yeah, I think Justin Scott's a big one that he was at the barbecue this weekend, and then another one I really missed. I really wanted Caleb Beasley to be there. I really enjoy talking to him, and I don't understand. This is one ranking that I have absolutely zero idea what these recruiting services are doing, because that's a 5-star kid right there in my opinion. I have no idea where these numbers are coming from, honestly, but he's unbelievable. Watching him play and move at Irish Invasion is something that I really enjoyed.
Did you have to throw was he in coverage?
It was not fun. I'll tell you, there was not a lot of space. He's top 3 corners that I've ever played against.
Nice.
Wow, that's high praise.
Yeah.
Because you've been to a lot of different camps with a lot of very high level players.
He's very impressive.
All right, very cool.
Just real quick on top. Was he off? I was going to ask about
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, CJ. Obviously, the skill guys get all the hype, but any linemen is I'm always about linemen watching film and working with Mike and stuff like that. What linemen are you chatting with?
Yeah, we haven't offered too many, but I know Peter Jones was, Peter was at the barbecue too. I got to know him a little bit. He's the first time I saw that kid, my jaw just dropped. He is a massive human.
He looks about 30.
He does. I was actually with Kayla or Cam, and I was like, he's standing with one of the coaches, and I'm like, hey, Cam, which one's the coach? And he couldn't tell me. I was like, this is not a 17-year-old kid.
There are plenty of Tim, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, funny you said that, because the day when he visited in the spring game was the same day Quentin Nelson was there, and I remember we were talking, and there's a video in the back of some of the practice stuff, and you see Peter walking by Quentin Nelson, and you're like, they look like twins.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There are plenty of linemen. I feel like, especially now when we pop up our prediction or commitment graphics, I'm like, there's absolutely no way that guy is 16 or 17 years old. Like, no way, no shot. How? Like, I have a brother who's 15, and I'm like, oh, there's no way. Like, how does this work? But
it's crazy.
Anyways. All right, awesome. Well, we can let you go, CJ. Thank you so much for joining us. I know we especially are all looking forward to seeing you play this fall, and obviously ultimately seeing you play at Notre Dame and watching you recruit and try to build this class around yourself in the coming months, both with the 2023s as we approach their signing day, and then once we get heavy into the 2024. So looking forward to that, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
CJ.